You are here to inspire with your essence. So this video is going to be a little bit more on the spiritual, energetic side, but it is also very practical life advice. So let's get into it. I see a lot of people lately who feel like in a brain fog or not sure where they're going next. You know, you're missing your next step. You feel like blindsided maybe a little bit. And maybe you've done already a lot of inner work and you feel like, where is it? Whatever it is, yeah? Whatever you are craving for. And if we focus on what we do not have or what we do not feel like we have enough of, any sort of abundance, could be health, could be work, could be feeling needed, could be connection and friendship, could be romantic love, could be, sun, weather, nourishing environment. See how there's so many ways of feeling the lack of abundance of something. I purposely didn't say money because I know this is so major for so many, and I get it. And yet, can you find ways that you are already abundant? Do you have a good friend? Do you live in a space where you feel safe? Do you have heating? Do you have a fridge with food? Sometimes we are invited by God, universe, however, the life, whatever you want to call it, to look at, what do I already have? Yeah, because we are often so focused on the lack, on the fear, on the worst case scenarios of, I couldn't, I shouldn't, what if I did? Yeah, of the what would happen. And we see the unknown and the blindsidedness and the things and the experiences we're craving and we don't have yet, as like we could lose it. Let me put it in a better way. We feel like what we don't know is coming is already something bad. It's already something negative. So you're basically closing your energy up and you're not even giving the benefit of a doubt to what you don't know is coming yet, to the unknown. Yet at the same time, you desire that something changes. Do you see the contradiction there? In your mind, you want something to change. In your mind, you want whatever it is in your life to improve, expand, resolve, heal, integrate. But your energy says, oh, no, oh my God, don't give me something else. Yeah? So we need to increase or expand our capacity of being with the not knowing, of being with the uncertainty, and through accepting the uncertainty, create certainty of what we want. And so many people are not aware of what you want. Yeah, maybe the idea is, I want $100,000 or I want to be a millionaire. Why do you want that? Yeah, why do you want that? Or I want 1 million followers on Instagram. Why do you want that? Do you want connection? Do you want to feel seen and heard and loved? Well, are you seeing yourself? Are you accepting yourself? Are you showing up in your community? Are you contributing something? And I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I mean this in a contemplate this way. Yeah, because life gives us a mirror of how we feel about ourselves, of our relationship with ourselves. And the funny thing is really that often many of us live upside down. And I spoke about this before, but we live inverted. Yeah, where we, for example, believe, I cannot do this, but you're already doing it. Yeah, simplest example. I cannot do this, I'm not good enough, but you're already doing something. You already made it till here. Yeah, or a good example is also when somebody is adopted, yeah, and they find out I'm adopted. They suddenly feel, or maybe they already know for a long time, they have the sense, often, not always, but often they have this internal sense of, I'm not wanted. I was abandoned. But the opposite is true, because somebody wanted you, that's why you were adopted. Yeah, but there's still this initial sense of I was not wanted. But the opposite is true, because somebody wanted you so bad that they adopted you. Yeah, that's just one example. And I want you to think of places in your life where you feel like you're not enough, you're too much, you are lacking something, and ask yourself, is this really true, or am I just not going deep enough? Yeah, am I just not going deep enough? And why do I have this fear? But actually, let's back up of that, because I know a lot of people ask themselves constantly and analyze constantly, and that is not always helpful. Sometimes everything you need, if you're constantly analyzing, is be with the feeling. Build capacity to feel what is there. If you feel fear to look on your bank account, if you feel fear to call somebody or to have a conversation that needs to be had, if you feel fear to ask for a raise, if you feel fear to talk to your partner about something, be with the fear. Feel it. Don't think it. Take a moment to feel it. Yeah? And how do we get to the feeling space? Something needs to happen. We need to connect to our body. Yeah? Because I had a session with a client last night, and we talked about how do I connect to a feeling. So I gave the example of the light switch. Yeah, you can turn on a light switch, but if you want to turn on the light, electricity needs to flow so that when you turn on the light switch, the light turns on. The electricity is emotion, energy in motion, right? Same thing. So in order to process something within you, you can think and realize your problem, but you also need to feel your fear through to realize, okay, I can feel the fear. I can process the wave of the emotion that lives within me right now, and then see what comes out on the other hand. You realize, oh, I can feel the fear and I survive on the other side. Yeah, so that makes you realize, oh, I can feel the fear and do it anyway. Maybe I could start taking some action, although I'm afraid, although I'm doubting. Yeah, so it is really, without action, nothing is ever gonna happen. And a lot of people are just so afraid to take action and live life. Yeah, you can watch 100,000 YouTube videos, and that's all great, and you learn something from it. But if you never take action, your life is never ever gonna change. Yeah, and I don't mean action in terms of pushing or forcing. I mean action in terms of aligned action. What is aligned action? Aligned action is action that really connects with who you are, that feels like, okay, this is me. This is true to me. And we need you being true to yourself. Because especially now with, AI and technology improving, the one thing that is not equal to that technology is your humanness, your energy. It's unique. So getting into your authenticity and trusting yourself with being who you are, and that being a beautiful contribution in whatever way. We don't all need to be healers and entrepreneurs and all that stuff. No, being in your authenticity and contributing to life on earth, to the world, is already, you taking care of your community, you cooking lunch for your children, you like co-organizing or organizing an event for your friends, for your community, whatever is the thing or the talents that come naturally to you, that is what you need to nurture. And maybe you can not yet grasp how that may, create an impact or is important, but it is. So I'm going to give you an example. As a child, I always felt so sensitive, and that was often criticized. Now, I use my sensitivity every day to work with people. Without it, I couldn't support them in their transformation and in, finding their own essence and connecting into their life, who they really are, and for that, I need sensitivity. I need to feel the deeper layers of you, of what's going on, of where your blocks are, of what your patterns are that, are misunderstandings within you or holding you back. So I need that thing that I used to be ashamed of, that I used to wanting to disconnect from, wanting to numb that sensitivity, because it's purely me. So what is purely you that you may not appreciate about yourself yet? You may even feel ashamed about it, but it's hidden gold. What of your essence haven't you integrated yet or accepted yet? Because when we start accepting and integrating all those parts of ourselves that we have abandoned due to outside influences and opinions or experiences that have wounded us, and therefore we went into the shrinking, into the contraction, rather than feeling actually, and as a child it's impossible to feel that, but if it's not nurtured by your caretakers, parents, or any other adult. But as an adult, you get to reconnect to those parts and actually realize, oh, whoever said just because somebody doesn't agree with who I am or like who I am, maybe that doesn't need to matter. Maybe it's not about them liking me. Maybe it means I trigger them, or I trigger something in them that they need to awaken in them. Yeah. And this is not a permission slip to be a mean person. This is not a permission slip to be, rude and unkind or disrespectful to people. I just want to disclaim that here. I mean being yourself from a genuine space, a person that also respects others and is kind to others, but still, is in sync with who you really are. Live and let live, yeah, in that sense. So whoever said just because somebody doesn't like you or accept you or understand you, that you shouldn't be yourself. Do you get what I mean? This is really important. You are who you are for a reason. You have all those traits and the interests and the sparks that you have, and the all of you is there for a reason. So your job is to cultivate you. Your job is to become fully you and fully comfortable in being you. You don't have to become somebody else. A lot of people do inner work and they are moving so far away from themselves that they are ending up feeling like, oh my God, I lost myself in the healing process, So come home. It's not about you becoming somebody else. It's about you becoming comfortable with being fully you, and process the shame, the pain, the fears, the anger, all those emotions that separate you from parts of yourself, from peace within you. And when you integrate those parts, funnily enough, you find also so much more peace with your parents, with ex-partners. It's not about maybe necessarily always being in touch and having the closest relationship then, but it is a sense of acceptance and forgiveness. And you cannot force those. It happens automatically when you integrate yourself. You could also call that when you purify yourself from all that separates you from being fully you. From accepting yourself, from anchoring into who you really are, and from expressing yourself authentically. And this is the gift that you give to the world. It sounds weird, I know, but this is it. This is your job. This is what healing is all about. Purification of who you really are and expression and contribution of who you really are to the world. That is your job. That is all. That is your purpose. And you can express it in any way that feels authentic and true and exciting for you. Yeah. I could also be an architect. It doesn't matter if I'm a healer or a therapist or a coach or an architect or a chef. If I do it from my heart and I bring my whole self to it, this is my purpose. Yeah, bringing your whole self to something. To everything I do, I bring my whole self. Because I'm intentional. When you're not intentional, you're not conscious. You're living in the fog. You could call it, you're not awake. So become intentional. Choose what you want to create. Choose who you want to surround yourself with. You choose. You're not at the mercy. That's where victim mindset comes from. The feeling of I'm not in charge. The feeling of I'm not seen. Yeah, but you chose those people to show you, oh, they don't see me. But I'm still choosing them because I don't have boundaries. I'm still choosing them because I'm disconnected from myself. Those people tell you, show you. So tell them, thank you for showing me. It's painful, but thank you. I'm going to make a different decision now. Life is funny that way. And if this triggers you what I'm saying, look at what hurts. Look at what's the pain right here. Don't blame me. It's this thing we always like. That's the easiest thing to disconnect from our own suffering or from our own pain and taking self-responsibility. We rather decide often, oh, let me blame somebody else. Oh, let me numb. Oh, let me do everything so I don't have to look inside. Well, inside is where the gold is at. The more you process, you need to feel deeply in order to live fully. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to leave you with that. I love you. I know you can do that. And yeah, that's just how it is. And my biggest desire for you is to accept your essence, accept who you are. And don't try to be perfect. Don't try to be perfect. It's not nice to be perfect. Who wants to be perfect? That's like so much pressure. It's not fun. What's fun is being yourself. Once you dipped into that, once you tried that out. And the more you try that out, you will realize that, oh, being myself is so much easier than to pretend to be somebody else or to shrink or to puff up. Yeah. So your job is to unblock all of yourself, to live fully with who you are in freedom and peace. And it's a lifelong journey. There are layers, and I always see it like a spiral. So there are layers to it. So life will always present you with the next thing you gotta learn. All you gotta do is listen and pay attention and breathe. Yeah? So it's not about healing everything now. That doesn't exist. Stop. Take this from your mind. It doesn't exist. Whatever you need to learn now, that's what you gotta focus on. There is no rush. There's nowhere to get to. There's being here right now with all that you are. And whatever you're feeling triggered in, whatever you're feeling disconnected from or stuck in, that is where the work is at right now. Don't worry about anything else. And you can also not compare yourself. It's impossible. You cannot compare yourself. Why? Because you're supposed to be you. And the only reason to compare is to see, oh, I'm jealous here. So that means something about this situation, experience, or person is something that I carry already within me, but I haven't explored yet, or expressed yet, or integrated yet. That can be a reason for jealousy or envy. Another thing is when you feel triggered by something somebody says, you feel angry and triggered and annoyed. Notice what happens within you. Is there a wound? Is there something in some part of your life where you behave like that, but you haven't acknowledged it yet, and that needs to be integrated? Or is that a wound from somebody who treated you in any certain way, and that caused you pain that needs to be processed? Who are you seeing when you're being triggered by somebody you don't even know, for example? Yeah. What is the need that comes up? What is the need that wasn't met? So you see, there's a lot you can do in the tiny little things every day without having to, set yourself this huge goal of perfectionism or who you put yourself to needing to be. It's the little things, and if you purify them, there's more acceptance and understanding for who you are. Yeah, and then from that place, you can go out in the world and share or contribute in any way that feels fun and natural to you. Okay? Alrighty. Now, I say it again. I love you, and I see you in the next video. Ciao.